Hello and welcome. In today's video, we are going to be going over a very great way in order to unlock max relics. So hot time is just finished, and the best way to get maximum relics is with gold. Pure gold. So once you have completed your barracks to be max, you don't need to level everything as long as you have the experience and hero tokens for each hero. What will then happen when you summon common scrolls is instead of getting heroes, you're getting the catalyst tokens, which you can see at the top left. It's 100% for if a drop does come, which is typically 2%, unless you're on your fourth one, which is 4%. So this will be the way and how we would use gold in order to get those catalyst stones, which will then, in Dominion, help us unlock the gold keys from the Alchemy Workshop. So with the gold keys, all you need is 1,000 dust for 20,000 bit. But I normally just do 1,000 dust and then 100 of the catalyst stones. That will give you enough resources in order to be able to craft one gold relic. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and start spamming and opening up these common scrolls in order to hope for the most catalyst tokens that I can. I have started off at 0 catalyst tokens just to make sure I can actually see how many I get for 1 million gold. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, and when I come back I will have completed all the summoning. Alright, I am currently at the halfway mark, so 500,000 gold has been spent, so I'm going to go ahead and check how many catalyst crystals I have acquired, just to see how the second half will go. So I started off with 0, I now have 6,900, so let's go ahead and see how I continue onwards. Just a fun fact, when doing all this, the most crystals per pull that I have seen so far is 450. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video once more, and when I come back I should have it all completed. Alright, this was my last pull. So I'm not going to be using any of the bronze scrolls that I currently have, just to make sure I can keep this as fair as possible for pulling 1 million gold worth of common scrolls, which is 200 pulls. It'd take me a little while to spam that summon button. So at the 500,000 mark, we had 6,900, and at the 1 million mark, we have a little bit more than double that, which is 15,600. So based off of the percentages that I have, so gold cost is 500,000, or gold required is 500,000, cost is 5,000, that's 100 pulls. For the first half, I had 6,900 tokens, which is 150 tokens per pull, which gives us a number of pulls out of 100 is 46, so 46% of the time you are pulling tokens from there. However, when we went over to the $1 million mark, same cost, 5,000 for 1 million gold, which is 200 pulls. We have a grand total of tokens of 15,600, again with an average of 150 tokens per pull. It gives you the actual average of pulls is 104 times, so a little bit more than halfway. So for every 2 pulls that you do, so for every 10,000 coins, you should end up receiving 150 tokens. Now, if you've noticed at the start of the video, when I was doing this, I would get like 2 or 3 or 4 in a row not pulling a token. However, later on as you go through, you'll be getting 300s and 450 tokens per pull. So at the end of the day, it will average out around 10,000 gold per 150 tokens. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this for now, and on the next screen that you'll get, I'll start showcasing some of the gold relic chest coins. Alright, before we start with acquiring the Gold Relic Keys, I'm going to just quickly showcase what I currently own. So I do have a tracker that we're gonna mark down to see how many items I've gained. The big things to note really is your catalyst stones, which I only have the attack damage, the shining attack, and health, and then also the polishing stones. And then the big thing is the selection chests as well, that you want to keep a note on this. You will be getting more forge stones as well. Not too many, but those are always useful to have. And then the next thing to notice is I'm starting off with 50,000 magic dust, and I currently have 21 God Relic Keys. So when I do this test, I'm going to minus 21 keys in total that I get, and then we're going to just go from there, okay? So, what I recommend doing for relics is using the Alchemy Stage 4 for the God Keys. And then once you change your auto select, I'm just going to include magic dust and the tokens. All you have to do is auto select, confirm, tap anywhere, auto select, confirm, tap anywhere. And so on and so forth. Now what I will do is count how many God keys I get, and assume it was a one-to-one odds based within the polishing stones. Now, for the polishing stones, there is another way on how to get perfect, is just by forging with your polishing stones. However, I think if you're starting off, doing the keys are going to be a lot better, because essentially what it's going to give you is resources for all your different types of relics. And then you're still going to be getting polishing keys as you go through with this. And so we'll see how many polishing stones we currently get versus how many you would have gotten, see what that difference is, and then also to see what other resources we have required. Now, if you are looking to just polish off some relics that you currently have, I think doing the polishing stones will help you out, as it will fix your issue kind of right away with that relic that you have. However, once you get 100 of the chest selections of the crystals, that will definitely help you out a lot better in the long run than if you just had the polishing stones. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue off with this last 7, and then I'm actually just going to switch over to Vit. And then for the purpose of this video, to make it a little bit smoother, I am going to sacrifice some gold ore, which strongly do not recommend, because gold ore is going to help you with the stage 5 alchemy for the actual Legacy Star fragments, because this requires 128 gold ore per chance of 1. So you need a lot of gold ore to be able to get your legacies maxed. So again, for the purpose of the video, what I'm going to be doing is the tokens plus 8 of the gold ore. That's going to be 808 gold ore that I'll need to be able to do this. Again, do not recommend it. However, just for the video and make it simple, I'm just going to be doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this and finish the rest. Before I actually pause, I'm going to say what you would do at this stage, since you have run out of dust. You would open your keys that you have, you would disassemble the normal relics, and then from that dust that you had collected, you would come back to be doing the dust plus the tokens. Alright, I want to my last few, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I've used all my tokens, I've spent 1,000,000 coins. So again, a reminder, the grand total of tokens that I did have is 15,600. I did start off with 21 gold relic chests, and I've ended off with 221, so that was a grand total of 200 keys I've earned. Alright, so just to recap, I've got 200 tokens that I'm going to be... Alright, so just to recap, I've got 200 the God Relic Keys. What I'm going to be doing is opening each one, and I'm only going to be keeping pretty much the stuff. I will be disassembling all the normal type of relics, and then I'm actually just going to be disassembling everything, except for the usable stuff. So the forge stones, the catalysts, polishing stones, and the polishing stones, more polishing stones, and the chests and the reforged stones. With the relics, I already do have quite a bit of stockpile because I have been doing this method for quite a while, and so I don't really need any more. As you can see, I've got 777 out of 999 types. So the specials, if I just show the pieces and normals, right, it's a ton. And then I already have a few max relics that I need, so I don't really need to keep collecting all of these. So what I'm just going to do is pretty much just sell everything that I don't need, which is pretty much all the normals and specials. And that is how I'm going to calculate how much dust I would have received, and the number of keys I would have been able to open with divide that by 1,000. And then I do have a track on how many I've had before doing this for all these additional items, and how many I will have afterwards. So give me a few moments while I go ahead and do this, and we shall be back. So just to show you one, I'm going to go ahead and hit the disassemble and select everything except for what I want, which is going to be like this. And then we'll see. Alright, and I am finished opening 200 Gold Relic Keys. That was a lot longer than I expected. However, let's see what we've done. So with the first thing I'm going to look at is actually how much dust I acquired. So I started this off with about 50,000 dust, and I used it all for the keys. Disassembling everything except for the things that you were unable to disassemble and you actually want to keep, I ended off with just under 160,000 magical dust. So that's going to be good enough for another 159 pulls worth of the catalysts, the tokens that we started off collecting with the gold. So that's definitely going to set you up for your next round of your relic keys opening. The biggest thing to notice as well with my items that I have, I now have all of the different types of the stones, the catalyst. Not a whole lot based on each one. I did grow quite a lot. And then I also gained 18 God Magical Polishing Stones, 25 of the King ones, and I had 7 before, so 25 minus 7. So what is that? 18? 18 should not do math while in your head while streaming. And the biggest things to note is now I have 82 of the Catalyst Selection chests and 32 of the Shining ones. So that's definitely going to set me up really nicely for forging the relics that I need in the future. So the main thing to note is with the God Magic Polishing Stones and the King Magic Stones, that's definitely going to help with the difference on what it would cost for just getting the polishing. So with the 200 keys that I had opened, assuming those were all the polishing stones, it's going to be 50 per stone. So I'm just going to do some quick maths. So with 200 opens, it's 50 per stone. That's 10,000 worth of polishing movements. Now, assuming you're going to be inefficient and only move max ones, which I would not suggest, that's going to be 800 worth of stones, which is 12.5 rows that you can be able to move. So 12 rows divided by 4 is 3. So 12 divided by 3, it's 12 divided by 4 is 3, which is 3 new relics that you can move to have perfect. Now this is not the most efficient way to use the polishing stones. It is best to save the stones on the correct slot if it's level 1 or higher, and then use the polishing stones to level up, which would be less than 800. But using the max that I was just doing, the polishing stones of 800, you would be able to get 3 max relics. Now with the polishing stones that I had required, so 18 of the god, 25 of the king, 18 of the common, that would be a grand total of 3,230 polishing stones worth, which then if you were to divide this by the 800, that's only going to be 4 slots that you'd be able to move over, so that's going to be 1 perfect relic. However, keep in mind that's using the worst way on how to use the polishing stones, and by now, since you have a ton more of the catalyst keys, you can be, or catalyst stones, you can be able to select the type of ability you are getting, and you can definitely get a much higher than a level 1 or a level 2 stats on the spot that you're looking for, and so you should be able to level up your relics using the polishing stones a lot more efficiency. So I hope this helps out. I will in the comments down below post what my final before and after of all the items were. I have been keeping a chart, so before I use any of these I'll definitely be adding up the chart again, and I'll post it down below to see what the final stats are. Again, if you want to go ahead and like, favorite, and share, and also subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. And always feel free to comment down below any questions that you may have about either this video topic or any other video topics that you'd like to see in the future. I'd be more than happy to help out. Thank you and have a great day.